A show that I started watching recently has really drawn me in. It's called Traitors, and I've only watched season 3, but it's a reality show about a group of people who, in this season, gather in a castle, and 3 are selected to be traitors, whose job it is to theoretically kill the other contestants, who are known as faithfuls, 1 each night. And they do this by, to use the terminology from another reality TV show, vote them off the island, so to speak, or in this case, out of the castle. Now, when they do this, they must also pretend to be faithful, so the other contestants don't discover their identities as traitors. Because if they make it to the end of the competition without themselves being identified or accused of being a traitor and voted off during the main gathering, then they win all of the prize money and any remaining faithfuls get nothing. So, here's the scene. In clandestine meetings, they walk to their secret meeting place, wearing masks so they cannot be identified, only to take off their masks to reveal who they are to their fellow traitors. They then have to decide together who they're going to have leave the competition that night. And the person voted out by the traitors does, in fact, leave that night. And they don't show up to breakfast the next morning. So breakfast is always a nervous anticipation as to who was voted out. Now, as much as a number of people think it would be fun to be selected as a traitor, they begin to realize as they are on this journey how exhausting it is. They have to hide behind a mask and pretend they are someone else. They frequently have to appear shocked at the person who has been voted off by the traitors as if they didn't already know. And they also may have to vote for people they have formed alliances with or who they like in the competition and we start seeing them struggling with the duplicity of the decisions they make, recognizing they're beginning to go against their values or loyalties for the sake of these fellow traitors, who then sometimes turn around and in the general meeting turn on them and get them voted out because they're not doing what a particular traitor wants, or in their secret meetings, or because trust has been broken. Now, this show made me think about a few things. The masks we put on in our lives, and how when we start putting on these masks to hide ourselves, it can lead to us starting to ignore or go against values and things that are important to us. Now, masks aren't all bad. They can help us feel comfortable. Indoor heating, air conditioning, or even those outdoor propane or electric heaters that people may sit around at restaurants, all mask the outside temperatures. People may change the color of their hair or use contact lenses to change their eye color. Maybe this helps with a sense of self-esteem or maybe to make a statement. But at the end of the day, their hair is still the same color underneath and their eyes are still the same color when the contacts are removed. So just as the contestants in the show put on their best faces to hide their true intentions, people who are living with substance or alcohol use disorders may often try and hide some of their intentions, emotions, or other struggles from the people they are around on a daily basis. It can remind us that even in recovery, some may feel the need to hide struggles and vulnerabilities they may be experiencing. In recovery, the journey often involves peeling back the layers of those masks. Many people entering these spaces feel the pressure to present themselves as strong and resilient, even when they're grappling with deep-seated fears and insecurities. The contestants on Traitors remind us that while it might feel safer to hide our true selves, this can lead to isolation and disconnection from others who genuinely want to support us. Recovery is about breaking down those barriers and allowing our true selves to emerge. Now, in another TV show called What We Do in the Shadows, a group of vampires is attempting to blend into ordinary life in Staten Island while masking their supernatural identities. How they show their struggles to conform with human expectations can reflect the challenges those in recovery or the challenges of family members experience also. We might find ourselves trying to fit into a world that feels foreign, suppressing parts of ourselves for fear of judgment from family or friends or others. Just as the vampires wear masks of normalcy, we too may feel the need to conceal our vulnerabilities and flaws. And as we delve deeper into this theme, let us consider the implications of these masks. The act of wearing a mask can offer a sense of safety, and like I said earlier, using heat or air conditioning for the weather, it can protect us from the elements. But masks can also shield us from vulnerability and protect us from judgment. However, this protection comes at a cost. When we hide behind our masks, we risk losing genuine connections with those around us. Recovery is about authenticity. It's about building relationships based on honesty and vulnerability. In the Christian scriptures, we're reminded of the importance of truthfulness. Ephesians 4:25 states, "Therefore each of you must put off falsehood and speak truthfully to your neighbor, for we are all members of one body." This call to authenticity challenges us to remove our masks and to embrace our true selves, flaws and all. For those who are new to recovery, understand that it's okay to show your true self, to express your fears and struggles, because it's in this openness that we find support and healing. And for those who have been in recovery for some time, also be aware that even if you're a role model, especially if you're a role model, it's just as important to model the example of vulnerability and honesty. We lead by example, and modeling authenticity can bring that out in others. Sometimes we think that by hiding behind a mask or by tiptoeing around other people because we don't want to upset them or worry them, or we try and be the strong one, we end up not allowing others to see who we truly are. And sometimes denying others the opportunity to both help us when we need help, or by taking away choices that the other person may need to make. When we take off the mask and speak our truth, it gives us permission to begin the process of healing. We reveal our stories and give other people the opportunity to feel both heard and joined as they have similar stories. When we begin taking off our masks, our authentic self can shine through. We see this all the time in groups such as 12-step meetings and Smart Recovery, amongst many other recovery groups. In 12-step speaker meetings, for example, someone may share their story and others who are listening get the chance to self-reflect on any similarities they feel. They feel they're not alone. In Smart Recovery, during the crosstalk section, a person may share what's on their worksheet related to the exercise that we did, and others reflect on similarities in their own stories to what that person shared. They don't feel so alone. When we forget the power of our stories and authentic vulnerability, and of risking trusting, we may experience shame. Shame is what so many people feel when they feel isolated, vulnerable, and do not want to share this. So they hide behind their masks. And shame as an acronym stands for secretly hiding all my emotions. Secretly hiding all my emotions. Shame can often feel like a heavy cloak, masking our true selves and preventing us from not only expressing our emotions, but also not allowing others, as well as ourselves, to see the true glimpse of who we are. We may hide behind a mask of strength, believing that vulnerability is weakness. Yet in doing so, we miss the opportunity for authentic connection and healing. In the teachings of Rumi, the Sufi poet, we find encouragement to embrace our vulnerabilities. The wound is the place where the light enters you. This reminds us that our struggles and imperfections can lead us to deep spiritual and personal insights and those authentic connections with others. For those in recovery, it's crucial to recognize that your wounds do not define you. Rather, they can be the very source from which we draw strength and compassion. Marianne Williamson captures this in her quote from a reflection on A Course in Miracles, which reads, "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us." This quote reminds us that our true power lies in embracing areas of ourselves that may feel uncomfortable, maybe because they're unfamiliar, or maybe because of the fear that others may judge us. But when we risk sharing those with the appropriate people, it gives us strength to face our fears, or even the self-judgment that shame frequently is. When we confront our darkness, the fears, the insecurities, and the hidden feelings, we allow our inner light to shine. This light is not just for ourselves. It radiates to others, inviting them to share their own authenticity. In our journey to overcome shame, remembering that vulnerability is a strength, we break the chains of isolation and create a space for love and understanding. When we honor our feelings and experiences, to continue Marianne Williamson's quote, we not only liberate ourselves, but also empower others to do the same. As we reflect on our lives, let us ask ourselves, what masks are we wearing today? Are they serving us, or are they hindering us in our relationships, including our spiritual and personal growth? Just as the contestants in Traitors and the characters in What We Do in the Shadows grapple with their identities, we must also confront our own. In recovery, we strive to be a community that values authenticity over appearance. where we can lay down our masks and be seen for who we truly are. We may wear those masks to hide our insecurities, our failures, and even our grief. We smile on the outside while our hearts carry the weight of unspoken struggles. In the presence of the God of our understanding and one another, we are called to be authentic, to share our true selves and our burdens. So let's take a step towards authenticity. Let us be brave enough to remove our masks and expose our hearts to the light of our higher power's love. Remember, it's okay to not be okay. Healing begins when we embrace our imperfections and have the courage to remove our masks and work through our woundedness. Together, let us journey towards wholeness, knowing that in our vulnerability, we find strength and healing. So as we end, let us remember that while the masks that we wear may provide temporary comfort, it is in our vulnerability and authenticity that we find true connection and belonging. Let us therefore embark on this journey of recovery together, shedding those layers that no longer serve us and stepping into the light of our true selves. Amen.